This is what my storage room currently looks like. Now, it is kind of functional, but it's also not very functional because a lot of the blocks that are in the game are not here. And I also end up with a lot of storage that just doesn't have a place, like all the stuff from the end. So I want to build a new storage room. A much bigger storage room. And for that we need to dig out a huge hole. So before we can do that, we need to defeat the Wither. Now, yesterday I did film myself going into the Nether and getting all of the Wither skulls that we needed to defeat the Wither. Hello, mister. I would like your skull, please. Nope, okay. Ow. I would like your skull. No? Okay, what about your friend over here? Can I have your skull, sir? Can I please? I would just like a skull. No, okay. I would like your skull. Oh, there's two. One of you. I just need one skull, please. Okay, never mind. They don't want to give me their skulls. Hello, Mr. Sir. Can I have your skull? Ow. I don't know why I said ow. I didn't get hit.
Yeah.
We did it, we got the last one, let's go! So all we really need to do is find a spot to defeat this guy and hopefully not die, so that'll be fun. Now, I saw another creator take like eggs with her and make chickens. I have no idea what that does, but we are going to do it. Let's see if our local chickens want to give us some eggs. I know there's a lot of chickens over here. Now, for some reason, I had completely forgotten all about seeds while trying to get these chickens into my hole, so I ended up looking like a complete noob whilst trying to fish them into it. And then I decided I was too impatient to even wait for them to lay any eggs, so I found some leads and headed off to defeat the Wither. Okay, so we're just gonna bring these 3 chickens and the 5 eggs we got, and let's just go find a place far away from the base underground. Let's go down underground here, maybe? Do we think this is far enough down, or... Alright, we don't want to enter that cave. So we're just gonna want a long tunnel. And then we're gonna need to dig out a space. Alright, before we spawn this lovely creature, let's get all of the chickens in here. Alright, we're gonna need more chickens, so let's try shooting out some eggs. Alright, we only have 3 chickens. That's not great. Alright. Here we go. Oh, I need to jump. Oh god! Oh, you can't use arrows on him. Okay. Oh yeah, I have to let him do the blasting, I think. Oh my god! Holy shit. I don't know what I'm doing. Blast. T. I clearly... Oh my god, but we did it. I may still die though. Let's get the nether store. Holy shit. Alright, well we did it. Alright. I got one. Wait, let's see if there's more Wither roses. I wanted more than just one. I think that's what the chickens were for. Look, we got 3 Wither roses. Okay, now all we really need is a bunch of blocks of iron. Now, unfortunately, my iron farm recently broke down. Which is, in a way, kind of good because I want to make a new one, like a better one, a prettier one. But it does mean that I no longer have a bunch of iron just lying around. But let's see what we have left to take from it. And hopefully we have enough to make, I think it's 12 blocks. I might have to research just how many blocks of iron I need. So I actually struggled a lot with trying to get this beacon to work. I failed like 4 times, and after like about half an hour, I finally understood what I was doing wrong. For my own dignity, I'm not going to say what it was. So after a painstakingly long amount of research and finally finding a video that worked for me and showed me how to do it, I made it work. As you can see, it's working now. So I will just be back when I have created a giant hole that I can make into a storage room. So this is the hole that I have ended up with. As you can see, it's quite deep. It's this deep because I want to make the floor, I want to make it like the foggy glass effect with pink glass. So that's why it's really deep. So it's gonna be about like half the depth of this, and then obviously once I've made the glass floor, I'm going to do the rest. So this is all the stuff that I dug out, and I'm going to keep all of the stone because I will trade the stone with my stonemason so I can get emeralds, and then also use those emeralds with the stonemason so that I can get quartz. So I'm going to start smelting a bunch of glass so that we can do the bottom flooring. I think I'm going to do a mix of pink glass and magenta glass so we can get that really nice fog effect. Alright, so I now have 3 shulkers full of sand plus a little extra, and I have some flowers that we can use to make the pink and magenta dye. So I will be back when I've turned all of the sand into pink and magenta stained glass. Okay, so I now have 3 shulker boxes filled with stained glass, which we are going to use to make the fog effect. But before I'm going to do that, I'm going to replace all the ores and all the andesite and all that around here with just stone so that it looks nice and clean. Alright, that looks a lot better, so let's start building up the layers one by one. Alright, I am done. I may have overestimated the amount of stained glass that I would need because I still have a full shulker plus quite a lot more. However, it's fine because I'll probably just use this for other projects, seeing as I really love these colors, but this is what it looks like. I think it has that really nice foggy effect. Now what I want to do is I want to do 4 archways, which are gonna each go into their separate sector. So I need to first get quartz. Now, I have been trading a tiny bit with my stonemason, but I've realized that that is just not fast enough. So I'm going to go to another town and make all of them into stonemasons. And then I will trade with them all of my lovely stone and hopefully get loads of quartz. Now luckily there are quite a lot of villages around to take from. For example, there are 3 over here. Oh no, actually 4. That I could make into Stonemason Town. I don't know why I called it that. So I think we're just gonna go for the one that is closest by, this one, and I'm going to go convert all of the villagers here into stonemasons and bring all of my stone as well. Okay, so I have pretty much transformed this entire town into stonecutters, or stonemasons, I mean. And I'm just kind of starting to level them up and getting the stone and stuff. I was gonna trap them, but I realized that probably doesn't really make sense anyway. So I'm destroying this guy's cage. Because he doesn't need it, because they'll just go back to their station and they won't like leave the town, so it's fine. So yeah, I'm just slowly getting them up and hopefully I can get some quartz from most of them once I've started to level them up with the stone and all that. Okay, so after a lot of trading with the villagers, I now have a little over 4 stacks of quartz. So I want to make some of them into stairs. And then I think we should also get some bricks because I think they look quite nice. I think we're going to have it be 6 wide. So now we're just going to build this up to be an archway. Okay, so I think this is how I'm going to make the archways. And I'm just going to need to do that on all 3 other sides. So let's do that real quick. Okay, so now we have all 4 archways, and luckily I actually made the same exact amount of like blocks around the entire square, so it is even. I didn't think it would be, but it is, which is really great. So what the point is that each way leads to a different kind of theme. I want there to be a nature theme, which is going to store all of my stone, my wood, basically anything you can get from the overworld. Then there's going to be a nether section, and there's going to be an end section, and then there's going to be a rarities section, which is going to store all my treasures. So we basically just need to dig out a hole in each one, and I'm going to use my silk touch pickaxe so I can get more stone to trade with the stonemasons. And let's just get started on digging these out. So this is the result of us digging everything out, and now we just need to decorate them. So I think I'm going to start with the overworld one, and I need a lot of materials for that. Get rid of all the cobble. Oh my god. Oh my god. So I have emptied out this shulker box that I am going to fill up with all the materials that I'm going to want to use for the nature themed hole. I don't know what to call it. The nature themed section. So I'm just gonna fill this up with everything that I want to use, and I will show you when I'm done. Okay, so this is the plan that I have. I want to make the majority of the flooring be grass and then have like plants all around, but I want there to be a pond in the middle, obviously covered by glass, that is gonna have coral and sea pickles in, so that also lights up the room a little bit. Then I have pale oak logs because I just have so much of this wood that I'm going to use for some of the walls, and obviously also to make chests. And then I'm going to use some oak leaves and some cherry leaves as well, and just make it look really naturey in here. So let's just get started on all of that. Okay, so this is the floor. I am pretty happy with it, and I think when we add the final touches, it's really gonna bring it all together. And maybe I could find a resource pack that gets rid of all this glass looking stuff so that it can be like completely see-through. That'd be really pretty. I just need to find that. But for the walls and for like the chests, I want to make them double chests, because in my last storage, it was only one chest for each item, and I want them to be pretty large. So we are going to dig into the walls to make room for all of that. So let's figure out a design. Okay, so I think I've come up with a design that I like, so this is what we're just gonna go with. I think I am gonna use some stairs to also make it look a little bit more detailed, so like maybe like this. So in my old storage, I was actually inspired by another creator to use shelves so that I could display what kind of items was in the chest. I think I'm going to integrate that into this storage room as well because I think it's a really smart idea, and it just saves you the trouble of using item frames and accidentally clicking the item frames instead. I decided to use cherry shelves to add in a little bit more color, and I still feel like this up here looks a bit strange, so I'm going to figure out a way to make it look a little bit neater and a little bit more detailed. Okay, so I think this looks just a little bit better, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. So now we just need to copy this on the other side, and it should just magically appear by editing. And voila, just like that, it is done on the other side as well. So now we just need to figure out what to do on this long wall right here, and of course how we're gonna do these walls right here. Now the problem with these walls is actually that they are this as well. So, and I have plans for that, but I can't really do that without changing this in here. So we need to figure out what kind of block can work for all of the inside of this room as well as all of the rooms on either side. I have no idea what yet, but first let's figure out what to do with this middle wall right here. Okay, so as you can see, I've basically just made another whole section like these ones in the middle here because it fits pretty well, and it's actually the exact size of the opening here, so it makes a lot of sense to do it like that. So I actually want the entire outside of this to be moss, so that is what we're going to fill all the walls in here with. And you're probably thinking, how the hell are you going to make moss fit in with the end and the nether? Well, I'll tell you how. For those two rooms, I'm just going to skip a block. Okay, we're just going to fill it in from this side, so this will be invisible from the inside, but visible from the outside. That is how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to go grab all of my moss, and we're going to make this room look complete. Okay, so this is the finished nature room. I am really happy with how it came out. I think it looks really pretty, and it really gives you that nature vibe, and all the falling leaves just look so pretty from the ceiling. So now let's get started on the nether room. So I think I'm gonna just kind of transfer this idea into my new nether room. I'm going to keep the lava behind this dark glass, I think, but I am going to change a couple of things. So we're going to include some of these elements in this room and just take them into the nether room. Okay, so this is the finished nether room. I think it turned out really great. I'm really happy with it. I think it keeps some of the charm of the old one whilst being a little bit more upgraded. I made space for the nether wart and some of our lovely prized possessions from defeating the wither. So now that we've done the nether room, let's move on to the end room. Okay, so this is the finished end room. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I didn't need that many chests for this because there just isn't that many items in the end. I also displayed the dragon head and the egg on this little table here, so I'm really happy with how this came out. Now let's do the last room, which is the treasures room. as you can see, this is the finished treasure room. I think it turned out really great. The reason why I chose to use stone instead of like any other block is because majority of these things in the treasure room are found in caves, so it's only natural that they would be sitting near stone. I also displayed my beacon, which I worked very hard for. Not really that hard for. And one of my totems of undying, I'm gonna put him upside down. I just realized I could do that. I forgot you could do that. So now that we have all 4 sections, it is time to move on to the next part, which is to fix this hole, because it's just not nice to look at, you know? So we are going to put up a ceiling, which is going to actually support my building, which is going to go on top, which is going to be a pretty castle. Another thing I quickly want to change is when I make the floors in the different sections a different color than the stone, it obviously looks kind of silly on the glass part, so we're just going to fill in this glass part with some quartz, and I think that should make it look all nice and neat. Okay, so I think that really ties it together a bit more and also just separates the rooms a little bit more from the main room. So now we need to focus a little bit more on the main room. Like I said, the walls are going to be moss, but I think I'm going to integrate some quartz in there so it just looks a little bit more put together and kind of joins all the sections together as well. Other than that, obviously, these corners are way too empty, so we are going to have different stations there. We're going to have a lovely furnace station, we're going to have a crafting station, an enchanting station, and a brewing station. So let's get started on fixing up these walls and making them look really nice. So I did try to build a castle off some inspo pics I found on Pinterest, but it didn't really turn out how I wanted it to, so I went on stream and made one in a creative world, and then I used Schematica to replicate it into my forever world. here is the final result. I also added this little staircase right here so that I can get up and down easily. Honestly, I would have liked it to be a little bit more hidden or something, but this will do for now. As for the castle, I'm planning to use all the little rooms as extra storage rooms or even for some of the overflow, and maybe I will decorate the courtyard a little bit or even add some storage here as well, seeing as we have loads of space. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to hit that like button and maybe even that little red one. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.